Welcome to the all good news edition of a Nintendo Switch 2 video where the price and the drama and the theatrics aren't actually going to factor in to the discussion today. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. The Switch 2 freaking has good news and freaking is looking better than ever, and I want to share it with you because I feel like it's been such a negative spiral, and I've made numerous videos on kind of my roller coaster of how I felt about the price, about the different things, and I came to like an epiphany moment last night. So if you want to check out yesterday's video, last night's video, that was kind of my like wake up moment on all of this. I'm not going to say any more about it, but you can go watch that video and get the exact same, hopefully, perspective that I got. It would be the last video posted before this. It's the one that says stop the Nintendo hate. But most importantly, the Switch 2 games, third-party games, are looking better than their Xbox Series S counterparts. Now, nobody's going to really report on this. Nobody's going to really talk about this because people want you to think that the Switch 2 is a baby system that can't do it. But let it be known that the Switch 2 actually has more RAM than the Xbox Series S, and the Xbox Series S is a totally fine console. I got one of those for my upstairs, and it is a really nice system that's able to play all the games that you want to play, and boom, here is Street Fighter 6 running on Switch 2, looking better. The details on this bicep are absolutely jacked. This guy's veins and muscles and whatever else are all just popping out in higher detail with better textures than on the Xbox Series S. And you can say the Xbox Series S sucks, no one has it, no one plays it. Well, this is really impressive. This is a portable system that is made by Nintendo, who's supposed to be bad at graphics, and yet they're coming through with their third-party games. And not only are the third-party games easy, we've heard CD Projekt Red say, wow, it was like really easy to get these games onto Switch 2, and it took 7 weeks to get Cyberpunk running 40 frames per second. We're now seeing actually better textures, and this is not DLSS, this is due to the RAM. There's also instances where we can see the DLSS impacting, which is that machine learning. So before people try to tell you, no, this is just the Switch 2 faking it with its special NVIDIA technology, no, this is actually better textures. And to back this up, it's not just me saying this and a few people online. Third-party developers are actually extremely happy with the horsepower Nintendo has. This is being reported by Video Games Chronicle and Jordan Midler. Different third-party developers are very, very glad. The Civilization team is extremely happy with the horsepower of the Switch. It's easy, development is great, customer support is great, developer support, developer relations, they say it's all great. Hogwarts Legacy, Avalanche Studios, they say that they've been working on it for a year. We got very good results really quickly, but we felt like we could make a higher quality product if we brought in a lot of the high-res assets and raised the resolution, textures, lighting, world streaming. So that sounds to me like they're bringing in a lot of the next-gen or current-gen assets into the Switch 2 version to make them pop even more. And this is a stark difference compared to what we heard when the Switch 1 came out, where obviously third parties were interested in supporting. It started selling well and they were like, okay, we want to put our games. And then we heard how difficult it was. We heard how they were pushing the panic button, unless they were panic button, making a miracle port work on the Switch. It was like some were able to do really well, some weren't able to do really well at all, and some were just downright terrible. But it did sort of take a learning curve. There was a period of time where developers had to kind of get adjusted. Port studios were brought in, like Virtuous Games and Panic Button, to specifically say, like, how do you do this? It's kind of hard. How do we make our Switch game work? How do we make our multi-platform game work on Nintendo Switch, rather? And now it's just easy. This is such a huge upgrade, and it's not one that's just going to benefit developers. It's going to benefit you and I. It means that we're going to get so many games, and that's why we're seeing huge third-party heavy hitters come out right on day one, and you're going to see that continue throughout the rest of the year. I mentioned this earlier in the week, and I still stand by it. I think Nintendo had a moratorium on Switch 2 game announcements to make sure that their partners in the Direct and in their Treehouse presentations and at their event got the shine and spotlight they deserved and maybe even they paid for. I think starting next week, you're going to see many more third-party games begin to get announced, and all the way up through launch and the rest of the year, you're going to see a lot of third parties saying, hey, this is easy, this is nice, the Switch 2, the power is impressive, the power is making us happy. They didn't skimp on the horsepower side of things. Thumbs up, we're making our game. It's not just in the graphics department, though, that Nintendo is doing well, because it appears that the Switch 2 is selling out at many UK retailers shortly after pre-orders open. Now, the UK has already started taking pre-orders in certain locations. Game, Argos, Smiths, Shop2, Amazon, sold out there. So people telling you that this system is not popular, people hate it, it's not going to do well, it's not going to sell well, nobody likes it. Well, the UK begs to differ. Now, France also begs to differ because according to This retailer, FNAC in France, this could be the fastest pre-ordered system they've ever had. 10,000 pre-orders in the first 12 hours of being available from FNAC, and that would make it FNAC's best ever pre-order start for hardware ever. This is the Switch 2 that people say drop the price and people say is terrible, and it's not worth your time or effort, and it's not as good as the PlayStation, Xbox counterparts because Nintendo's greedy and throwing you into the dungeon. Again, we're not going to talk about price today. We're just going to talk about the facts here, that this is selling out, and I bet once Nintendo figures out their US pre-order plans, it's going to sell out there as well. At the end of the day, the most important thing here is that everybody that plays the Switch 2 and everybody that talks about developing the Switch 2 is really happy about it and really positive. And you're going to start to see that this conversation is going to roll like a wave through the negativity into the positivity. The more people that get their hands on the system, and the more that the articles and the wham bang, it's so expensive and tariffs aren't actually the cause, it's just Nintendo, they suck, gets kind of rolled out and gets old, then you're going to see more and more of this positive coverage taking place. And you can even compare Switch 1 games to their Switch 2 counterparts, and you can see that Nintendo has made a substantial, significant, major upgrade. This is not the slight upgrade that some people thought we would get. This is not the slight upgrade that some Nintendo haters really believed would happen. Like, oh, it's a slightly better Switch. And they're telling you that even now. There's a lot of people out there on the internet. I don't know why they don't want Nintendo to succeed. I don't know why. I've seen the argument evolve from like, it's too expensive, we shouldn't have to pay that much, which I agree. Nobody wants to pay more. I'd love to pay less. Trust me. If this could be $60 and $350, that would be great. It's not. But I've seen people start to evolve their argument to now, oh, it sucks because it's Nintendo. It sucks because Nintendo's a baby system. It sucks because they'll never be as good as PlayStation and Xbox. And you start to get the sense that maybe some of this frustration from some people, not all, but some people, is because Nintendo's actually kind of killing it. Their games look really great, their system is selling out, and it's stronger than an Xbox Series S, and it goes in your pocket. Well, maybe not your pocket. You have to have really big pockets because this is a bigger system. I've heard people say that the Joy-Con feel significantly better. We've got metal buttons on the shoulders. We've got a wonderful, fantastic screen, and we've got games that are actually showing up and showing out and showing more impressively than their counterparts on one of the bigger brother consoles, which would be the Xbox Series S. This is never going to reach Xbox Series X, and that's okay. I think reaching Xbox Series S is fantastic and is something that a year ago, 2 years ago, nobody would have said it's possible. We thought maybe it could get there as we got more and more rumors and more leaks about the true nature of the system architecture and the specs. Now it's coming to fruition. And I've said this for a while, that the true moment would be when we actually heard this from developers and we actually saw it ourselves. It's one thing to say Nintendo Switch 2 could be a great third-party system. It should be a great third-party system. It should get a bunch of games. They all should play. It's another thing when Nintendo announces them, but it's a whole nother thing when we actually hear from the developers and the gamers themselves that these games are running great, they're playing great, they're looking great, and they're easy to port. It's the best possible scenario, and oops, Nintendo also has first-party titles as well. And let's not forget, despite DK and Mario Kart World getting all the attention, Metroid Prime 4 is there. I feel like it's not getting enough attention. That's a humongous game that Nintendo is putting out. And they also did announce 2 other titles from 2 major franchises, a brand new Kirby game and a brand new Zelda game. Granted, it's a Kirby racing game and it's a Zelda Warriors game, but still, that's year 1, and that's just what they announced at their opening direct. There's still a 40th anniversary of Mario to come through, and just wait till Mario 3D is shown off, because if you think DK looks cool, if you think Mario Kart World looks cool, you know Nintendo is probably saving at least some of their brightest moments for that Mario 3D reveal, and that game is going to set things into a whole another gear. The Switch 2 is just getting started, and it's had a rough start, no doubt. The pre-order change for the United States is very bizarre. I hope we have a chance to pre-order it soon. I hope they don't bump the price even higher. That would really suck and be really frustrating. There's a lot of mess here, but there's also a lot of good. And I hope that I was able to bring some of that to you today and give you like a positive outlook. Like, hey, the system that you've been excited for the last 5 years is actually really cool and people are liking it, and it actually does stuff better than the Xbox Series S that should not really be a thing, but hey, they delivered with a system that has nice RAM, a phenomenal screen, solid horsepower, and the ability to make things even better with DLSS technology. That's the Switch 2, Nintendo's best system ever. I think that's really what we're going to look at this as in the future. It's going to be a nostalgic catalog incorporating GameCube games, hopefully eventually Wii games. It's got all of your Switch 1 games playable there, except the Labo VR one, which it's Labo VR. And it's going to have these new games, Nintendo in 4K for the first time, Mario looking more expressive than ever, Yoshi being kind of a snot rag, and DK having all sorts of sass. So to me, this is a huge win. I love this a lot. Love you a lot. Let me know your take on today's topics in the comments down below. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. It's tough, but I think it makes the world a better place. SwitchForce out.